more extra chapters of Witch on the Holy Night. Wow! Woo! Who's excited? Who's excited?
Not me.
Damn.
Look, if it's not, if it is, if Alice is there, then I'm excited.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright, let's see.
I guess we go to the Martha? Over there in the corner.
No, that's not it. Yeah, Martha.
Why are you saying that name?
Ooh, pretty. Walking around the mansion at night often led to mysterious encounters. The baby. Mist might suddenly fill the hallway. Or doors might appear and disappear. Just when Sojiro thought he had seen it all, with pig-shaped shadows mending the carpets, he heard the sound of a bird flapping coming from the sunroom.
What's going on over there?
As much as he had become accustomed to turning a blind eye to such occurrences, the sound of flapping wings in the sunroom was too much to ignore. And not just one bird, or even two. It sounded like dozens. So many birds packed in the sunroom would inevitably lead to shattering windows and broken glass. Sojiro grabbed a broom and dashed towards the sound, preparing for the worst. Perhaps he was moved by his natural impulse to help, or desperate self-defense. His mind flashed to what a teacher had said at school.
You should all make sure to keep your rooms orderly and clean. Work ethic and self-discipline will have a positive impact on your surroundings. Think about it. Even in a nice neighborhood where there isn't much crime, it only takes one ill-kept house to send the whole block into a spiral of depravity. Of course, we all know a messy room won't turn you into a criminal. But I'd better not catch any of you breaking windows in the hallway or going for a joyride on stolen motorcycles. Think of all the pain you'd be causing your poor teacher.
At the time, school gangs had garnered a certain reputation among the youths. Sure.
Broken windows led to broken hearts.
Sojiro appreciated the basic message of the lecture as he ruminated over it. The thought of broken windows had given him a sense of urgency, as if the mansion's very moral foundation was at stake. His roommates were harsh enough with him already. Anything further would only lead to rampant rumors at school about their cruelty. He had to protect the honor of the student council president. Did he?
Yes, he did, because he's a good boy.
That's fair. It was also concern for his own safety that sent him rushing to the sunroom. However,
Huh?
there wasn't a bird to be seen or a chirp to be heard upon his arrival. Oh, hey.
It's Alice!
Only Alice and Alco, sipping afternoon tea at the table that overlooked the courtyard, were present. The dozens of birds Sojiro had sensed with his mountain intuition were nowhere to be seen.
Did anyone see a flock of birds?
Alice, 見た?
Alice?
さあ、もう
Who
見えないの
knows?
ならいないということでしょう。
If can't see them, there must not be any birds.
だって、いないよ、鳥。
You heard her. No birds. It was a lie so blatant even Sojiro could see through it.
Yeah, I just gaslight him.
That can't be true.
He knew for a fact he had heard the flapping of a flock of birds. Unable to accept that there really were no wild animals in the room, Sojiro approached the windows with suspicion. There were no feathers or any other signs of birds having been outside either.
夕食、鳥鍋?
Oh right, dinner. Chicken stew, was it? Of course, Alco would say something like that as she watched Sojiro search desperately.
Sorry, I'm working at the fish place tonight. But I've got you covered if you want sardines.
Please, let me take a picture of his face. Look at his cute little face. Ah!
He looks so done.
He's so adorable.
Really?
Really? How interesting.
You got it?
So cute. Yeah. Look at his cute little face.
イワシ。イワシか?
Sardines.
私、あのパイ嫌いな
Sardines,
のよ。
huh? I don't like sardine pie.
いえ、むしろイワシのパイとか
Not
食べたことな
that
い
I
もんね。
ever had it. Alco's stand-up routine was far ahead of its time. Sojiro backed away from the window and begrudgingly left the sunroom. Feeling Alice's all too familiar, inscrutable gaze upon his back.
What's up, Alice?
Just as he opened his mouth to ask her what she wanted,
A bird.
a blue comet crashed into his head. It needed no explanation. Look at Alice's face.
I love her.
It could only be Robin, the mysterious bird that appeared frequently in the mansion. Chirp, 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 it shrilled accusingly. The truth was, the tiny aggressor that assaulted him just now was the greatest of the mansion's 7 wonders. Robin is adorable. I think this is new music. Or it's...
I don't think so.
No, it's probably... No, I don't think it's new, but it's like... different, because we haven't heard it in a while.
Fair, yeah.
That's nothing so joyous in a while. Sojiro encountered all sorts of people along his route to work. Still new to city life, he found the crowds of people outside the station utterly fascinating. In fact, they were the highlight of his commute. No two people were were exactly the same clothes or walked in the same fashion. I thought that little leaf there was like a cockroach for a second.
Oh.
With so many people, you would think they would all melt into an indistinguishable huddle. But each person he saw was different and unique. Sojiro was excited as a child as he looked out at the bustling, diverse streets of the city.
Stop it.
Closing his eyes in shame, he sighed. He was upset with himself for behaving like a bumbling tourist from the countryside. Hey, you'll get in people's way spacing out in front of the crosswalk like that. Daydream somewhere else. A stern and familiar voice behind him snapped him out of his navel gazing. It's that one girl that we met literally once before. Let me guess, you're on your way to Mad Bear? My shift at the convenience store that starts at 5. You?
Same. 5 o'clock to start. Were you on your way to somewhere else?
I just stopped by a bookstore. I'm out of stuff to read, so I thought I'd look for something new.
I see. I guess we both have time to spare.
Oh. The girl who greeted him was Kojika Kumari, a work friend who was also in the same year at Misaki High. A work friend, you say, and we only met her once in the main story? I guess that's what the extra ones are for. Though it would have been more accurate to say that she was looking for a pretext to fight him rather than greet him. Why? Why would she want to fight our boy? What did he do?
She looks engy.
Toradora vibes.
That is fair. To Sojiro, Kumari had been the first person in the city he could look up to. They'd met at his first job, when she insisted he wasn't cut out to work the register after many mistakes, and convinced him to quit working at convenience stores altogether. In the end, she introduced him to his current job at the Chinese restaurant, the Mad Bear, a much better fit for Sojiro. You look a little worse for wear, Suzuki. Why the long face? I've never seen you so pouty. Usually standing up straight is the one thing you're good at. Something on your mind? Wait, are you getting bullied by the older guys at the Mad Bear? You can tell me anything, you know. Though her tone was stern, her eyes were earnest. Having grown up in the city herself, she was irritated by virtually everything Sojiro said and did. Damn. Nevertheless, she still treated him like an equal. Introducing him to his current job was just one example of her sincerity.
Nah, nothing like that. It's just something strange happened. Something real unusual.
What, did a girl say that she liked you or something?
Nah, not that weird.
Okay. Sojiro could not find the words to explain his situation, but that did not stop him from trying. There were no problems of the Mad Bear to speak of. He liked it just as much as his other jobs at Yotatsu. Yeah, Yotatsu, the fishmongers in the shopping district. In fact, his problem had nothing to do with work at all. No, his problem was a certain blue bird that would not stop pecking at him recently. You're getting pecked by a bird? Wow, and here I was thinking the world had ended. It is pretty unusual for a bird to be blue, I guess.
Oop, there we go. And that's not the only unusual thing about it.
He stopped, unsure of how to proceed. Words alone were not enough to convey the bird's plump body or the sound of its chirping. You could really turn it into, like, a good sandwich. There is a beautifully colored bird called the mountain bluebird, but they're not native to Japan. Maybe it's a blue swallow?
An African or a European swallow?
I don't know that. Gets yeeted off of a bench.
Nah, it's more wound than a swallow. I tried to look it up in a bird book, and the closest thing I found was a robin.
Yeah, but robins aren't blue. You know those blue chicks that are fairs in the city? Of course you don't. Why would you? Just forget it. Anyway, this robin, is it the only one?
Yeah, there's only one. It don't seem to have a mate.
Well, if it's the only one of its kind, then I feel kind of sorry for it. Imagine being the last one of your kind since the day you're born. Talk about lonely. I have no idea what species it could be, but maybe you should try being nice to it next time. It might bring you something special, like when you find a 10-yen coin in a vending machine. Her words were perfectly kind, but he could hardly sympathize with the creature after all the painful pecking to which it had subjugated him. Me. He wouldn't have called the bird lonely either. If one little bird is all that's bothering you, you're lucky. The pecking bird is weird for sure, especially in a city like this, but it could be worse. Imagine getting attacked by an army of crows that swarm around the dumpsters.
Right. Actually, there was something else bothering me too.
Her example had reminded him of the mystery of the disappearing birds at the mansion. A stranger than strange event.
See that hill? I actually live on it. I see lots of starlings around there, but for some reason they never come down to town.
Well, duh. You never see birds in town. But on a mountain like that, there are bound to be wild animals. Why would you move way out there anyway? I mean, I heard you moved out of your old apartment, but isn't it a pain getting to school? Like, what are you doing out there in the boonies?
I like how she's progressively getting more and more Valley Girl.
Yes. I'm practicing for Ceil.
Oh my god. Things just worked out that way. And the commute isn't hard. If anything, it's painful. If anything is painful, it's what happens inside that place.
Huh? It took 30 minutes to reach town on foot. The 40 minutes to the nearest convenience store would be the real kicker for most people, but for Sojiro it was no inconvenience. The real problem was the dark forces beyond human understanding that lurked within the grounds.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring all my complaints to you. I'm curious about how you said there aren't many birds in town, though. Why is that?
Simple. They failed to adapt to the environment. I didn't know you were so interested in birds. You an animal lover or something?
I guess I do like my animals more than I dislike them.
This says as he's punched a wolf before. Really? I can't stand them. I'm surprised you didn't pick up on it sooner.
Let's say he hasn't punched the wolf yet.
That's true, yeah.
Well, but he fought. Okay, well he has fought dogs before because they nipped and anked on his arms.
Yeah.
Her statement could hardly be more self-contradictory. Minutes after telling him to be nice to a bird that attacked him, she was now claiming she did not even like animals.
Well, even if you can't stand animals, I'd still like to hear what you know about birds.
Can't take a hint, huh? Fine. I need to kill some time until work starts anyway. So, like I was saying, survival is all about being able to adapt to your environment. Misaki's pretty big now, but it wasn't always like this. Half of it used to be woodland, which was closer to the type of environment the poor things were used to living in. The way I need to take away the Valley Girl that she's not talking.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Once upon a time, there was a man who died.
Once upon a time, there was a man who died. The way Kumari addressed them was of note. Whether she liked them or not, she seemed to at least have some respect for them. Nature ended up with the short straw as the city modernized. Humans always change their surroundings to suit their needs, after all. Diverting streams to get rid of mosquitoes, covering everything in town with concrete, made the area unlivable for the birds. Without enough bugs or trees, they had no choice but to flee. Chased out of their home, they moved from the forest to the mountains. A convenient urban center for humans isn't the kind of isn't the kind of place that can support a colony of birds.
そんなことぐらいで減るものか。その
Keith.
姿を見なくなるぐらいに。
Keith? Keith, I cannot hear you talking.
With just sudden hitting of the mic.
There we go.
Just
Let's try that
smack
again.
the mic.
Primitive Christmas. Anyways. And that's all it took to get rid of the birds in the city? Just like that? And we never see them again?
そこまで極端じゃない。
It's not that extreme. I mean, come on. You just said you see starlings.
比較の問題よ。街には人間が多いから。
It's all
鳥の
relative.
姿は余計希少に
There's so many
感じる
humans
だ
in
け。
town, the number of
たまに見
birds
かける
seems
だ
small in
けで
comparison.
珍しいと思えるぐらい
It
ね。
feels special just to spot one here or there.
ああ、確かに。
That's
鳥
true.
は街からいなくなったら。
So they just left town and moved on to the mountains.
Frank died.
Oof.
Big oof. Humans might not be able to see them in day-to-day life, but they were alive and well nonetheless. Their habitat and lifestyle changed with times, but they never truly disappeared. Sojiro's sense of relief was sharply disrupted by a serious look from Kumari.
あの山に天敵がいなければね。
But the birds aren't safe in the mountains.
人間の手による乱獲か。
They're still
移った先にいる生態系との衝突か。
There's still overfishing by humans and conflict between the birds and their new ecosystem.
一世紀
With
もあればいい
everything
方か
going
もしれ
on,
な
I
い。
doubt they'll last very long. Even a century might be optimistic.
Yikes.
旅行バトの例もあるし。気がついた時
Just
に
look at
は
what happened to
取り返し
passenger
つかないのが
pigeons.
動物と人間の
Once
関
humans
係よ。
noticed what they'd done to them, it was already too late. And that's how it always is.
旅行バト
What are passenger pigeons?
Of course you wouldn't know.
そう、旅行バト。体長
Oh,
は40
they were
センチほどもある
large,
大型
beautiful
の綺麗な
birds.
鳥。
About 16 inches from head to tail. That's a big fat bird.
They are very big.
オスの翼は深い青色で、胸は鮮やかな
The
エン
males
ジ色。
were deep
オ
blue
レン
with
ジ色の
vivid
目は
red on their
嘘みたい
breast.
に愛らしく
The
て、
cutest part,
その羽は
the cutest part was their orange eyes, like something out of a book. And they could fly up to 60 miles per hour over great distances. Her voice had a certain tenderness to it. She was daydreaming about birds she had never ever seen in the flesh.
北アメリカにいた鳩でね。春は
They were the
南
type
か
of
ら北へ
pigeons native to North
冬は
America,
冬越えのために
so
北
they
から
used to fly
南に移動
north
する
in
の。
spring and then back south in the winter until it got warm again.
今から100年以上も前の話よ。
But that was over a century ago.
彼らはかつて地上で最も
They
繁
used to be the
殖し
most
た高等動
common
物だった。
higher. They used to be the most common higher animal on Earth.
何しろその数は50億。
There were
当時の総
5
人口より多か
billion
ったっ
of
ていうん
them
だ
in
から
total.
圧
That's
巻
more
よね。
passenger pigeons than humans. Pretty amazing, right?
That's kind of weird to think about, actually.
Yeah, that there were there were 5 billion pigeons across
Lot
the
of
whole
birds.
world.
Yeah.
That's a
And
lot
they're
of birds, and now they're
extinct.
dead.
Angry.
And now they're extinct. They're gone, and they're dead.
But also kind of weird, the fact that 5 billion is now that the human population now eclipses 5 billion.
Yeah, I think we're at what, 8 billion now?
Something like that. 7 or 8.
Something like that. Yeah. Also, I keep looking over because one of my cats is still in my room, and he's just vibing, but I'm just making sure that he doesn't, like, you know, rip anything.
Fair enough.
So.
Wow. I never thought about an animal being more common than humans.
でも彼らは絶滅したわ。
Yeah, I know. Why did I go southern for a second? What the hell was that?
I've been asking myself
Yeah, I
that in
know.
so many things recently that I've been doing whenever we're streaming. Just why the heck does my voice keep going straight to Southern?
It's because it's easy. It's easy to slip into. Yeah, I know, but now they're all extinct, thanks to those same humans.
16世紀にヨーロッパからアメリカ大陸に
Settlers
やって
from
きた
Europe
探
who
検
went
家
to
た
the
ちは
Americas in the 16th century mentioned flocks of patches and pigeons so vast that they covered the entire sky.
それが旅行バトを記した
Those are the oldest
一番
written
古く
references
確
to
かな
them
記
that
録
we have.
まあ私も本で知った知識だけど
Looks are the only way to know anything about them these days.
太陽を隠してそ
I
のおび
mean,
ただしい数で森を
until
覆って
something like Jurassic
雪のよう
Park
に
becomes
雲を
real,
落と
but
して
instead of
光景なんて
making dinosaurs,
今じ
we
ゃもう
make
夢物語
extinct
ですよね
animals and not scary things with lots of teeth.
What's a Jurassic Park?
Oh, you sweet summer child, I'm gonna have to give you so many DVDs.
I mean, granted, this is 1989, so neither the book
I mean,
or the movie are out yet, so...
Shh, shh. She's from the future, it's fine.
We are barely exiting the dinosaur doldrums and entering the dinosaur renaissance right now.
Oh my god.
Anyways.
Anyways, it's hard. It's hard to imagine so many birds that they block out the sun, cover whole forests, and rain down droppings like snow. Sounds like something out of a dream, doesn't it?
でも当時の人にとっては
But for people back then, it was more like a nightmare.
旅行馬と一羽一羽は美しいフォルムを
Sure,
してい
each
ても
individual bird was beautiful, but together they amounted to a violent force of nature. Like, oh my god.
彼らはその時点では森
Oh
を破
god,
壊
that is
し
a lot of birds.
人間を脅かす悪魔のような存在だった
There's at least two
They-
birds there.
Maybe 3.
Maybe even 3.
God forbid 4.
This literally is like, wow, god, what's the movie? The Crows or something? I think it's called The Crows.
Birdemic?
No, it's not the Birdemic. It's a black and white film.
I knew you weren't referring to that. I just had to.
I think it's just called The
It's an old-
Birds.
Okay, just the birds. That's what this is.
Just birds.
These pigeons.
Just the
These
birds.
pigeons were the birds.
Bird.
Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, right?
Yeah,
Love bird.
that one bitch. Yeah, his movie. They were downright demonic with the power to destroy forests and threaten everyone.
営巣地は10キロメートルにまで
Their
及んで
nesting grounds were up to 6 miles
5
wide,
万羽近い
and just
鳥の
one
鳴き声が
colony
響
could
い
have
たのよ
50,000 birds in it. So you can imagine how loud it got.
一瞬にして風景を変え
A
るほど
flock
の
of
鳥の
birds
群
so
れと
big it could instantly transform the landscape and cover the whole land with
冒
its
険家たちが
cries.
進んだのもうな
I
ずけ
can
る
see
わ
why
ね
the settlers were scared at first.
一つの住処に5万羽
50,000 birds. All in one spot.
Look at his face. Sojiro trailed off as he attempted to count the number with his digits. I don't think he can count higher than maybe 100. Considering he was messing up with a cash register, I don't think math is his strong suit. He could barely count the number of people in the crowd outside the station. That would be far beyond his capacity.
But if there were so many of them, how could humans swipe them out?
ええ、当時誰も
Good
がそう思っ
question.
たんでしょうね。
No one back then thought it was possible either.
でも話は簡単だったの。
But it's simple when you realize that passenger pigeons were both a threat
同時に
and a
安
cheap
価な
commodity.
実りでもあったから。渡り鳥の胸肉は美味しいでしょ。よく鍛えられてるから。
All the flying was what made the meat of migratory birds so delicious to humans.
そんな食材が空に向かっ
And
て
all you had to
鉄砲
do
を撃つ
was
だけ
point
で
your
バ
gun
タ
in
バ
the
タ
air
と落ちて
and
きたとしたら、
bang!
あなたはどうする？
And there's dinner. What would you do in their shoes?
So the flashbacks. Is it a flashback? I don't think it was a flashback scene. Well, kind of. So the scene. So the scene in this chapter, the very first scene in this chapter, was the shot of a bird flying over a forest, getting shot down by a hunter, and it was. I think I remember it saying that it was like the last of its kind. That is what's being. That was the last passenger pigeon then. Huh. Damn.
Damn.
まあ、身も蓋もないことを
This
言え
might
ば、
sound heartless,
旅行馬
but
と
the
って鳥
passenger
は
pigeons were a
簡単に
species
お
that
金
could
にできる
easily
生
be
き物だ。
converted into cold, hard cash.
かくして狩りは延々と続けられた。
Naturally, the hunting went on and on.
落ちた鳥は羽をむしられて、
People would
塩漬けの
pluck their
樽に押し込まれ
feathers,
て、
stick them in a
次々
barrel
と出
with
荷され
salt,
た。
and ship them out.
それはもう狩りですらなかった。ただの
Wasn't
消費。
hunting after a point.
人間側は
just
労働の
consuming a
実感も
resource.
作業の手間すら
Didn't
感
feel
じな
like
くなっ
work
て
or
いた。
labor to the people doing it.
その頃、旅行馬と
In
は
those days,
1羽
you
1
could
セ
get
ン
a
ト
whole
で手に入れ
passenger
ることができ
pigeon
た
for
んだ。
1 cent.
ここで
That's
言うの
roughly
がた
equal
った
to
1
1 yen.
Holy crap.
ほんと信じられる？
Can you believe it?
その国最小の通貨1
The
枚で売買さ
smallest
れる命がこの
demonization
地
of
球にはあったなんて。
denomination of currency in society was enough to purchase an entire life. Kumari spoke as if reflecting from a textbook. Her voice, nevertheless, had a certain darkness to it. Was it pity for the slain birds, or disgust for her fellow man? You decide. Either way, the passenger
Vote on your
pigeon's
phones now.
Yeah, call the number right here. Doot 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 doot. Either way, the passenger pigeon's fate was a cruel joke carried out by humanity. Typical, some might say. Poor Sojiro had yet to comprehend just how typical that side of humanity was.
けど、それはまだまだ序の口で、本
That
番は
was only
19
the
世紀
beginning.
に入ってからだった。
The real damage began in the 19th century.
人間の旅行馬と狩りはますます熱
Passenger
狂してい
pigeon
った。
hunting became more popular than ever before.
学校で習ったでしょ？
Remember learning about the gold rush
南
in
北
the
戦争を
American
経て
Civil War?
アメリカ合衆国
America
は
was
急激に成
expanding
長していた。
really fast back then.
西欧からの移民は増え続け、
Immigrants kept
1870
flooding in
年には
from
4000
Europe,
万もの
and
人口
by
に達していたわ。
1870, there
そん
were
な移民たちの胃袋と
40
財布を
million
満たす
people
材料
living
と
in
して
America.
旅行馬とは
Passenger
最
pigeons
高
were
の
the
獲物だっ
perfect
た。
thing for their purses and stomachs.
で、もっと最悪なことに。
But the
人間は
worst
工
part
夫
is
する
how
生き物だった。
scheming people were.
彼らはより早く、より多く、より簡単
They
に旅行馬と
they
を乱獲する
competed
手
to
段
find
を
the
競い合った。
fastest, most efficient way to catch as many passenger pigeons as possible.
目をつぶした鳩をおとりにして、
One
集
thing
団を
they
誘い
used to
込ん
do is
一
blind
日で
one
1万羽以
pigeon
上捕らえたやつさえい
and
た。
then use it as a
それでも
lure
彼ら
for the
は
group. sometimes catching 10,000 in a single day. Yet no one had a single qualm about what they were doing. Any sane person could see that the balance between breeding and hunting was clearly out of whack. She was doing everything she could to speak in a calm, measured tone. Sojiro, meanwhile, was completely enraptured by her words. Having been raised in the mountains, it was by no means a happy story for him. But right now, he was more interested in knowing why it ever happened in the first place.
Something seems off about that. If their numbers were decreasing so fast, the thin passenger pigeons should have tried harder to avoid the humans.
That's where they were unlucky. They had really low fertility rates and no means of protecting themselves. All they knew to do was live together in groups. That was their only form of self-defense. Passenger pigeons managed to build an empire of 5 billion only because they lacked natural predators. Indigenous people didn't hunt them either, apparently. It was the settlers who wrecked the local ecosystem. Wow, really? Oh, never would have seen that coming. No one ever imagined in their wildest dreams that so many birds could just go extinct. Passenger pigeons couldn't have been prepared for predators showing up centuries later out of the blue from across the ocean. Finally, in 1896, humans began to realize what their crazed enthusiasm had brought about. 250,000 passenger pigeons. That's how many they estimated were still left. It was too late. The government tried passing laws to protect them, but human habits are hard to break. Or maybe hunters just thought that with 250,000 passenger pigeons still left, taking 1 or 2,000 wouldn't be a big deal in the greater scheme of things. Hunters started using the latest technology breakthrough, the telegraph, to keep track of where the passenger pigeons were. Soon they had shot down 200,000 and injured 40,000 more. That left only 5,000 passenger pigeons in the world. And at that point, they could no longer survive in the wild. Sojiro's face sunk into a scowl. No longer able to survive in the wild. He knew all too well what that phrase meant. No wild animal can last long on its own. No animal can survive without a significantly large population of their own fellow kind and insufficient feeding grounds to support the group. Strength in their massive numbers was all the passenger pigeons ever had, and so once that was gone, they were as good as extinct.
What happened to them in the end, though?
Eventually, there were only 3 passenger pigeons left. 2 males, 1 female, who were kept in captivity at the Cincinnati Zoo. That's me. I know that place. But within the year, both the males had died. And only the female was left. At that moment, when the other 2 died, she became the single loneliest creature on Earth. Her name was Martha. The last of her species that had once soared over North America. She would never fly free again. Trapped forever in her cage. At the age of 29, she finally passed. It happened at 1 o'clock on September 1st, 1914. The only case in all of Earth history where we know the exact moment a species went extinct. The story of 5 billion deaths had finally come to an end.
Sorry, I need a moment after that.
No, take your moment. Take your moment. Give everyone a
Christ,
moment. Just
like-
deep breaths. Just.
I don't know, because
It just makes you feel icky, doesn't it? It makes me feel that made me
it
feel
feels
icky.
really bad. It feels horrible.
Yeah.
Like wretched.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I mean, as somebody who is very like who has like a vested interest in a lot of like in animals that are
Extinct
dead.
things. Mhm.
Hearing about like the more recent extinctions, especially stuff that is explicitly humanity's fault,
Mhm.
is surreal and humbling. And like the passenger pigeon is unfortunately not the only one that is not the only species that has suffered this fate. The dodo is the most famous one. The thylacine, or the Tasmanian tiger, I suppose, is the more common name. Was another one that passed that would have passed actually fairly in this I believe in the same century as the passenger pigeon. Then we do have footage of the thylacine, but of like the last thylacine in captivity, and and like there's a lot of like footage and like sound bites of like the last remnants of like species captured by humans. Like there's a specific songbird, I think, or some kind of like tropical bird that in the mating season it sings duets with with a female songbird, and we have the last recorded song of the last wild male, and it is, you can hear where there are missing parts of the song because it is the only one left, singing to a mate that will never answer.
God, it's so bad.
And like the worst part is this still keeps happening. Like there are only 2 white rhinoceros, northern white rhinoceros in the world who have to be kept on
Terrible.
who have to be kept under heavily armed guard because poachers still want their horns.
Humanity is crappy.
There we go. I just put it. I stopped and restarted the thing. Anyways, so what I was going to say. What I was going to say was the fact that the passenger pigeons passed, like the last one died, like 109 years ago, is wild.
Oh, 109 years ago?
Because it died in 1914.
Oh. That's a lot. Huh. That's a lot longer than I
It's
thought.
more than-
Yeah, no, 1914. Jesus.
Yeah, September. That's what she said. September 1st, 1914. So that's 109 years.
Yikes, yeah.
Because, like, when you hear things about, like, the dodo being extinct and things like that, it's like, oh, that was so long ago. That's, like, so long ago. And then you think about this guy's being extinct, and you're like, that doesn't feel good. I don't like that.
Yeah. The last
It is
yeah.
very
The last
uncool.
thylacine died in 1936.
That's even worse.
Yeah. We also have footage of him. Like it's black and white and yeah, he's just in the Beaumaris Zoo. Really?
Why does that means that 2 bad things have happened in the Cincinnati Zoo. The last passenger pigeon died, and then Harambe. Like, we're just trying our best over here.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyways,
Anyways.
to the internet out there, support your local zoos.
Yes, do that.
Donate to conservation efforts. Recycle.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Reduce.
That is Keith the Dinosaur Boy VA's Earth wellness check.
And if you go hunting with your family, go in actual proper, like, hunting seasons.
Yes, please.
Don't be that bitch. Okay? Thank you.
Poaching bad.
Yes. I mean, something, we, here, in Ohio, we, almost eradicated all the wolves.
I do remember this. Yes.
And now we have fucking giant cockroaches called deer.
Yeah.
So. And they're fucking everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Wolves were removed from Yellowstone Park, and it
Yeah, that didn't go
messed
well.
up the entire ecosystem until they were reintroduced.
Yeah, because like it's one of those things where it's like they were like, oh, this is such a good idea, and it's like, no,
It was not.
who told you that was a good idea? No one should have told you that was a good idea. My guy. Oh god. But yeah, support your zoos. Don't be a bitch to the environment. And if you see recyclable stuff on the ground, pick it up.
Yes.
Here's another thing. For anyone who enjoys canned soft drinks, cut that plastic up and recycle it so that way it doesn't choke anything, like a rabbit or a turtle.
Yes.
It also helps recycle it easier. So,
Yeah.
Or do what my brother does and keep all of your recyclable things and make it into art. That's what he does. So save it for art.
Of course. That was a long
Anyways.
tangent, but
That was, but it's an
remember
important
to
tangent.
reduce, reuse, recycle. Anyways.
The 3 R's. The birds have been swallowed up by the machinations of human civilization. Kumari had intended to show her sympathy for the loss of species, but the emotional impact had clearly been all but lost on Sojiro.
意外。できるだけ詩的に語ったつもりだけど。
I tried to make it sound all poetic and tragic, but I guess I failed.
山育ちのあなたには憤慨物
Aren't
の
you
話だと思っ
angry
たの。
as someone raised all around nature and the mountains?
いや、
Oh.
すごい話だったけど、
It was definitely an amazing story.
その
But
整理がつかなくて、
it don't make
当時の
sense.
人たちは自分た
Why
ちの
would
手で暮ら
humans
してよ
keep
うと
passenger pigeons in
なん
captivity
で
after
最後
working so
保護
hard
し
to
た
kill
のか
them?
って。
Kumari stared blankly at him, eyebrows raised high. What he likely meant to ask was why humans would protect the last of the species. They themselves had hunted. Protect the last of the species as they themselves had hunted into extinction. Kumari could hardly be blamed for her bewilderment. Having been raised in the city, she failed to recognize the damage inherited in his cluelessness. He felt neither angry towards humans for their brash selfishness, nor sympathy for the birds, who remained in their natural habitat even at the cost of their lives. His upbringing had not provided him with the necessary sense of self-righteousness to produce feelings in either direction.
相
He's but
変
a
わらず
blank
よく
puppet.
わかんないやつ。
You don't get it, do you?
まあ、私が言いたかったのは、ど
My
んなに強
point
く美
was
しく
that
見え
no
て
matter
も
how strong
居
and
場所から追
beautiful
われた生
animals
き
might
物は
look,
儚い
they
ってこ
don't
と。
stand a chance outside of their natural habitat.
しずきくん、
Think about it, Suzuki.
あなたが見た鳥は、その最
The
後の一
bird
羽か
you're
もしれないわよ。
complaining about might be the very last of its kind. And with that, their idle conversation came to an end. It was nearly time for their shifts to begin, and Sojiro was the first to head off.
らしくない。何熱く
What
語って
was
たん
I
だろう、私。
even thinking? It's not like me to rant like that. Kumari remained in the park after Sojiro left. Martha, the last of her species. She had not been referring to the bluebird when she mentioned Martha, but...
やめやめ。珍しいから特
Oh,
別視すると
stop.
か。バカみ
Thinking
たいだ
about
し。
something is special. Thinking something is special just because it's rare is dumb. She rubbed the back of her head, apparently angry at herself for getting involved in something that was none of her business. She and Sojiro were not even in the same class at school. He was a total stranger as far as she was concerned. The more something bothered her, the more she felt compelled to investigate it. It was a personal quirk of hers, and the only reason she had gotten so worked up about the passenger pigeons. Kumari's well-groomed brow furrowed. She'd only spoken to Sojiro to make sure he was doing okay at the Mad Bear. Or maybe it was that she had been strangely drawn to him. The more they spoke, the more she felt drawn to him.
まあ見てて頼りないってのが一番だろうけど
At first glance, he
話し
looks
てみ
like
るとしっかりしすぎ
he
てるんだよ
looks like the
ね
last guy you would rely on. But when you get to talking to him, you realize he's got it all together. No, he doesn't.
He does not.
He doesn't have any. He does not. He has one brain cell at most. Amidst her muttering complaints, she recalled the conversation upon parting.
で少しは街に慣れた
So, gotten used to everything yet? To which he had given a weak shake of his head.
全然
Not at all.
覚えな
There's
くて
so many
も
things to keep track of.
He was trying his best to keep up with the overwhelming amount of new information every day. However, despite his apparent naivete and fragility,
Frailty.
frailty? Okay, frailty. He was in fact trying to learn everything he could about his new surroundings. But at the same, there was no reason it needed to be so overwhelming in the first place. It was only due to his own naively subordinate frame of mind that he felt compelled to memorize each and every detail.
どうだろう
I
そうっ
wonder.
ていうのはちょっと違う
I don't
と
think
思う
I'm exactly being subordinate.
単に
Fact
それ
is,
がいい
I'm
ことか
still
悪いこと
just
か
figuring out what's right and
ま
wrong.
だ分かってないだけかもしれないし
He awkwardly claimed.
そうねでももしかしたら
Right,
そもそも
but maybe, just maybe. Kumari stopped herself mid-train of thought, deciding to instead wave goodbye and take her leave. She sighed aloud every time she replayed the scene in her head. Work at the convenience store started in 5 minutes. She gave herself a light slap on the face in an effort to forget their conversation. She reminded herself that she had neither the energy to worry about other people's problems nor the obligation to do so. She had her own concerns, saving up enough money for college, for example. Fighting against her parents' opposition every night was draining enough. There was no room for burdening herself with her students' issues.
でももしかしたらそもそも
Right. But maybe, just maybe. It was not like her to get so tongue-tied, she thought to herself under a strained smile.
ほんとはっきり言ってやればよかった
I should have made my point more clearly.
あなたは単にそういうのに関
I
わ
should
る
have
気が
flat out asked if he cares at all about human morality. He really did annoy her. Now, in a thoroughly bad mood, she left the park in a huff. When Sojiro entered the drawing room after work with a gift of sardines for his roommates, he came face to face with Alice sitting on the sofa.
やこんばんはアリス
Oh, hi, Alice.
sense of familiarity had been able to say, "I'm home," was entering the mansion. When entering the mansion still eluded Sojiro. He headed straight to the kitchen to fill a bucket with water to keep the sardines fresh. But the icy stare on his back sent him anxiously to the refrigerator instead.
Buckets are not allowed in the kitchen, remember?
Calmly accepting the change in plans, he shoved the sardines into the fridge and peeked back into the drawing room.
Alice, have you seen Aozaki?
さあ、自分の部屋にいるか、出かけているんでしょう。
Well, either she's in her room or she's gone out somewhere. Her reply was curt. He nodded and got to work cleaning the kitchen. There was nothing in particular he wanted to say to her, and also sensed that it would not be a good idea to start up a conversation needlessly. So he tidied up the sink area, washed the cutting board, wiped down the knives, and put away the cutlery so they could be easily found. Her black eyes monitored every action in his streamlined workflow. A rhythm that even the most seasoned housekeeper would be envious of. He would surely notice her gaze before too long. He bent over to store a large pot under the sink when it happened. As he began to stand back up, he locked eyes with Alice, and then... I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too, buddy.
The fuck?
Mayday! Mayday! Sing your hook, boy! I don't know, that's the voice. Oh my god.
Ow.
Before he could make another move, he felt something slam into the back of his head, a bright shock of blue. He knew what it was without looking. It could only be the mansion's blue robin.
Why does that thing have to stop messing with me as soon as I get home?
Sojiro muttered under his breath. It was a rare situation that made Sojiro feel like complaining.
Pull up a chair, boy.
Damn.
The robin chirped in its shrill tone. You see, this little creature that loved to attack Sojiro so was the greatest of the mansion's many wonders. And with good reason.
Are you having a bird bath, mate? You think you're better than me, eh? Are you...
Oh my god, it's British. Hold on, I have to, I
Oh.
have to be British.
Are you having a bird bath, mate? You think you're better than me, eh? And you... And what the bloody hell is a chicken stew supposed to be to mean anyway? You got something... something against a Richard III?
This is why that one comment said to brush up on a Cockney accent.
I got it. It's all good.
No,
I got
something.
it.
Something.
Something against Richard III. It's hard to be Cockney and cute when you're, in your 20s. Think so. Or like so. Sojiro had an inkling of what the bird was getting at. hold on, my cat is trying to leave my room now, of course, of all times.
So I feel whenever my dogs try to leave my room when I stream.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Hello.
Well,
For someone raised in the mountains, this was an utter nightmare. Animals were not supposed to be able to talk. Then again, having lived in the mountains for over a decade, he did sometimes feel like he could understand what the birds were trying to say. He knew it was just his imagination, but sometimes he thought they even saw him as a friend. That was not the case with this bird.
Cheese, love, the cavalry's
oh
here.
my god.
Sojiro had a realist's attitude towards wild animals as a result of being so familiar with them, in contrast to the ever-mysterious humans who lived in the city.
しかし現実だ
It's really talking to me.
As much as he wanted to deny the reality he was facing, he could not help but recall Kumari's story. She had said to try and be nice to the bird the next time he saw it. According to her, any rare one-of-a-kind creature must accordingly feel very lonely.
座れって言ってるのに仕方っすか
I said sit your pipe and drum down. You hearing me all right, mate?
あーでも椅子ないっすねここ
Hang on.
じゃあ立って
There's no changing
ごぼう
in
だ
it.
けに
There's no
廊下に
chair
立っ
in
てるの
it.
がお似合い
Alright,
っす
just stand. I mean, I stood up with you enough in the both of us.
あれ今はうまいこと言ったっす
Get
ね
it?
自分
Pretty clever, if I say so myself.
Yep. Sure.
It's hard to sound cute while being Cockney. Anyone who wants to say that my Cockney accent sucks, meet me in the Waffle House parking lot.
Her Cockney
We'll
accent
we'll-
sucks.
Meet me in the Waffle House parking lot. We'll fight.
Okay.
We'll fight like it's melty blood.
Alright.
Drive 16 hours to meet me, 7.
Alright. I'll do it. I'll do it. I think I won't, but I will.
Do it!
I'm doing it right now.
Bring Keith with you. Bring Keith with
At
you.
your door. At your door.
Hey, first, can we...
Yes?
Christ.
Open your door.
I'm not opening this door until we finish this, alright?
I said, B, open your door. I didn't say Keith. I'm not at your door right now.
I'm just
Actually, I
gonna
am.
move on now.
I'm at everyone's
The
door.
bird perched itself on the telephone receiver, seemingly worn out from all the flapping. Sojiro was dumbfounded. Listening in silence to the bird's chatter was his one way of expressing his denial.
I'm pretty old, you know. On account of me long career as a ploy. I've served Miss Alice from when the goddess mom was around. Don't ask me why I'm blue.
Down. You can't just ask people why they're blue.
Oh my god.
My best skills are playing the detective and the victim. But my detective side always dies first.
Why are we... I can't Cockney right now. Hold on.
You can do it. I believe in you.
I believe in myself. I got
My best,
it's
my
hot.
boy's skills are playing detective and the victim. Nah.
My best skills are always die. My detective side always dies first, so no one can ever figure out who killed me.
What?
待ってくれ。
Wait,
それには聞きよう
you're
がない
Chloe? I've heard that word before. What's your meaning again?
Say what? You asking what I is? I don't know what I feel right now. Sexy or terrified?
What? Sojiro's face. Just that bird just called itself sexy. All right, moving on. Just look at his little face.
Head empty.
He's staring at the bird just like that.
Head devoid.
Nope. That is exactly
Like
how
it's
he's
not
looking
even
at
just
this
empty,
bird.
it's just a void in there.
Thusly, the conversation began between the two most powerless residents of the Kuwanji estate. Humankind and birdkind, able to understand one another after all. Sojiro was tired of letting the bird get to him, fully aware that ignoring it took more energy than it was worth. Filled with a sense of resignation by the time he finally did make an attempt to interject, both parties' guards were firmly down. Sojiro was focused on how rare the bird was, while Robin was focused on his showdown with his rival that was to be eliminated at all costs.
Don't get your niggas in a twist. Let's talk about something more important, like my beloved Miss Alice, the angel mom herself.
Hey, I'm happy to talk about Alice.
なんと、アリス
Wait,
って天使なの
she's an angel?
In my eyes.
It was an impressive sign of progress that he did not need to ask what an angel was.
True enough.
Hey, bruv, an angel. That way she's above the hustle and bustle of the masses. The way she doesn't give me the time of day, absolutely angelic, I tell ya. She's holy and sacred, she is, but she's also cruel and inhuman. Pretty fitting for an angel, don't you think? Honestly, sometimes I think Goddess Mom didn't do the best job raising Angel Mom.
そうか。そりゃアリスに
Okay.
お母さんはいるんだよな。
So, Alice has a mom?
この家
She
には
had to come
何
from
用だけど
somewhere, my guy.
Do you think Sojiro knows how babies are made?
No, absolutely not. He is so Tarzan, it's insane.
Can you
Huh?
imagine them having to give him the talk?
Oh, Christ.
Also having to give him the talk.
Can you imagine? No. Imagine him needing to pick up pads and having to explain to him what a pad and tampon is and the difference. That's the funny shit. It's like, why do some of them have wings? Do you guys plan on flying? It's like, no, they just secure to the underwear better. Well, why do you need to secure to the underwear? Don't ask questions, just get the pads, Sojiro.
Sojiro knows nothing. Man's head is empty.
You know nothing, Sojiro.
Okay, so Alice has a mom? I thought maybe she didn't have any family at all.
Hey, bruv. Oh, yes, she has one, alright. But it's a sob story, isn't it? All the birds in England cried out that day. Her mom was even more smashing than Alice. Got photos later for you, like. For only 6 pence. How about it, lad?
Pretty sure I only got yen.
We can convert.
いや、そういうのは本人の許しがないと。
No thanks. Wouldn't want to do that without her permission. Now I'm British now. God.
You went
No
from
thanks.
Southern.
I wouldn't want to do that without her permission.
outward measure, Sojiro said earnestly as he tilted his head. I just want to squish his face. It's squish. The reason for his unease was also due to the fact that he had grown more interested in Alice than before. Despite his detached and passive attitude, he was still a young man like any other after all.
Yes, それはそうっすね。
And what you'd be, lad?
お前シャバ像の割にいいこと言う。
You think you make some
人の
sense
言葉とかみだりにしちゃい
for a
けない。
feral human? You know, you make some sense for a feral human. You're right, I shouldn't be babbling about people's past.
ところで、アリスさんの子供時代の
But
話とかしていい
maybe
っすか
you like to hear about a
シャバ像の知ら
childhood.
ねえア
How
リスさ
about
んを
lad?
赤
I'd
裸々
love to
にア
lay
ピー
bare
ルし
some of my
て精
deepest,
神的
darkest
上位に立ち
secrets
たい
for
っす。
ya. It make me feel like a heap of dosh.
あ、いや、 そういう
I
話は
just said I don't wanna.
安心しろっす。アリスさんま
Line
だ
up,
わけをやるっすから。
I wouldn't tell Alice about our little rabbit pork.
まずはアリスに自分とアリスさ
Let
ん
me
が
start
初め
with
て
the
出会っ
date
た
we
時の
first
メモ
met.
リーを聞くっす
Despite
よ。
her look, she
ア
didn't
リス
hand
さ
so
ん
much as a
友
single
達
friend
一
in the
人し
world,
か
you
いなかっ
see.
たっすから
I
もっぱら
was
自
the
分が
one
話し合い
who
てっつう
I was
か
the only one that mother of pearl had talked to.
ほら壁相手に
I just need to
カ
stop
ゴ
making
を
it
置いて
sound
ピン
cute
ポン
and
玉に
just
近い
make
す
it
ぎ
cock
る
thing.
こんな感じっす。アリスさんのメモリ
Imagine
ーは
playing
お
that
よそ
game where you
14
bounce
人
ball
分
against the
じゃ
wall
あ
by
1
your
年目から
lonesome.
いくっすよ。
It was just like that. 14 years of memories with her eye. So let me start from the beginning. You can't see me, but I'm doing hand motions.
Yeah.
It's very important.
I just said.
いくっすよ
Here we go!
Yeah, alright then.
The bird doesn't stop.
ー。食べられないっす。
Buckle in, cause it's gonna get. It's gonna get good. This bird was trouble.
No, it's
The word
perfect.
bird-brained had taken on a whole new meaning to Sojiro.
Don't be rude. The bird.
If he was stuck here listening any longer, he had the feeling he might hear something he would not be able to unhear.
すまない。
It's alright, but I should really get going.
With a wave of his hand, he attempted to flee to the attic above the second floor.
Oh my god.
He's like, I gotta go.
ここからがいい
No
ところ
way,
なのに
just a
なんで
man
されっす
boy.
か。スカーレット
You're about to miss the best part. Would you think you are Scarlet O'Hare? You think you're the most important character in this war?
Who?
Scarlet O'Hare. I believe she. Hold on, let me make sure before I. Let me make sure before I say something stupid.
Oh,
I don't
Gone
wanna
with the
sound
Wind.
stupid. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I see. Fair enough, I guess.
Literally, he's just like, "What? You think you're fucking going with the rain?
ばか
What
り
the
の新
fuck?"
参者がなんでアリスさんの視点を独り占めしてるっすか。許せないっすけど、その秘訣を教えてほしいっす。切実に。自分本気出したらすごいっすよ。
You're not fooling me, that's for sure. What's a saucepan and lid like you getting all Angel Mom's attention? Why are you all she looks at? I can't stand it. So you better tell me your secret. I'm serious, and you never want to see me get serious. I'll puff up, and I'll get real big.
What?
Fight me. Halfway up the stairs already, Sojiro quickly retraced his steps.
君、今のはどういう。
What did you just say? Excuse me?
だからアリスさん好きあらばお
Then
前
whenever
を見て
Angel
る
Mom has a moment to spare, she starts watching you like a hawk. That's what.
思い出したっすよ。そもそ
And
も
now,
自分
I remember why I
名
wanted
刺
to
線
talk
に
to you.
刺
I
されてるから
want to make
って
sure
付き上がる
you
な
won't
んか
go
振り
getting
去っ
any
ちま
big
った。
ideas just because she's looking you over with the burning look in her mince pies.
だ
I've already saved you more times than you know, Mr. Sono J.
Hey. Only the student vice president taught me that.
That nickname ain't for you.
That ain't for you. Stop that.
If it wasn't for Miss Alice's orders, you'd be stuck in some old mirror, you know? What's really going on? Is this the crazy rubber and glove that you humans get all Moby Dick over?
Excuse me?
The white whale chasing the white whale over.
No, I'm okay. I suppose that's fair.
I know that reference. Do you know what's funny? I actually understand a couple of the things that the bird is saying because there was a time I took an acting class where we learned the difference between proper British speak and the weird things that Cockney is used for. Because, like, ladies and gentlemen used to just be ladies and jelly beans. Like, that's a very basis one. But, like, some of these things I kind of remember. Which is just fun. This is you.
Yeah. If they're fair enough. You're saying she saved me? Alice? Saved me?
Yeah. Well, she's also got she's also the one trying to kill you, but come off it.
What?
Here's what she told me. She said to save you if you ever were about to get lost in the mirror or go too close to something dangerous. But don't go get no big head. You hear me? It's not like anybody cares what happened to...
It happened in a flash.
I love his freaking change in expression.
Oh, fuck.
With a swift, unhesitating strike of her hand, Alice squashed the bird right then and there as it sat on the telephone receiver. The receiver stand in the foyer. Her pressed palm continued to pin it down. The bird's crushed form resembled a bright rubber ball, like what a child might play with. Do you think they're gonna have the extra chapters in the movies? Or movie, if it's only one?
Maybe.
I hope they have this scene, because this is fucking funny.
Fair enough.
Probably not, honestly. If it's just one movie, then it's probably only going to focus on the main plot.
That's fair.
Like, if it were a TV series, then I could say maybe, but...
Or a series of movies, like they did Heaven's Feel.
Well, even if it's a series of movies, I can't see them doing, more scenes like
That's
this.
fair. They didn't do everything in Heaven's Feel.
No, they did not. Yeah. Some people are mad about it, but whatever.
I mean, we're gonna see everything in Heaven's Feel eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
I finally got it working.
Yeah, we gotta finish this, Ceil's Route, and then Fate's Day Night.
Ooh, and we got 3 routes there.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the big idea, Miss Alice? I can feel all the blood in my body gushing out my beak.
The bird raised a mighty uproar.
これの言うことは気にしないで。
Ignore everything the bird says.
I know you want this image, Seven.
Yep. Give me 1 second, I can grab it. Just, where is my button?
Oh, I already saved it. I'll send it to
Okay.
you. Don't worry about
Good,
it.
thank you.
I just love the bird going back and forth.
It's Alice, and it's a great expression.
Nope.
Alice returned to the drawing room, taking the bird with her. Her dark silhouette, cloaked in shadow, was the complete opposite of the gaudy little bird. Sojiro folded his arms as he stood alone, no less confused than before, and whispered,
こうして。
Things get stranger by the day around here.
up at the night sky, visible through the skylight. And that was Martha.
Every time I hear that, I just think of that stupid line.
The way I want to record things is I want each video to be a different chapter. So, do we want to go on to the next one, or?
It's 120.
Okay.
I'm not saying absolutely not, but I mean, it is getting late.
I mean, Keith is the one who's got his finger on the trigger, so.
Fair enough. Stop for now, I guess.
Alright. Then everyone say goodbye.
Bye-bye now.
Later, gamers.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
See you
Love
guys
bye-bye.
next time. I gotta do my outro here too, you know? It's my traditional outro. Can't not do it.
Love you, bye-bye. Love you, bye-bye.